Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm so glad that you're joining us today. We're going to be talking about developing star power in your life. And I like math and equations, so this is the equation I wanted us to be working on together today, which is soul power plus fully switched on equals star power. So I have two amazing guests today that Shellie will be helping us really dig into our soul and how to tap into that power and really make that connection with our purpose so that we can step more fully into it. And then Memel will help us really discover how to fully switch on and bring all of us to everything that we're called to do. So it's going to be an exciting show. I'm glad that you're here. And let me just run through a couple logistics so that you know how to communicate with us. We love questions, interaction. I want to encourage you to give us a call at 888-346-9141. Again, that's 888-346-9141 to share that you have a question for Rebecca and her guests, and they'll be happy to connect us. And we love live interaction. Right, Shellie and Stephen?
Absolutely.
That we love interaction with our guests. So we're looking forward to all of you connecting with us. Also, if you're more of an email person, if you look at the website that you're listening live with when you're listening to the show, if you scroll down just below the banner that says Empowering Women, Transforming Lives, you'll see where you can click and follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn. We're now on iTunes. And just below that, there's a gray box that says send a message to the host. So if you type in your message there, click, it'll come directly to me, and we'll get through as many of those questions during the show as we are able to. The other thing that we're going to be talking about today are some amazing free gifts. My guests are so generous that they want to make gifts available to each and every one of you. So as we talk about those during breaks, not during the show, because we don't want you distracted, we don't want to lose you, but during the commercial breaks, I'll remind you, you can go and click on the free show gifts. And it's right over on the right-hand side of the website. You'll see in a yellow-orange color that says free show gifts. When you click on that, it'll open up and you can just enter in your name and your email address and choose from any of the amazing gifts or all of the gifts that will support and empower you. So that's the way you can utilize and fully take advantage of everything that we want to make available to you. And as I was preparing for this show, I really had a story laid on my heart that I wanted to share with each of you. And this is a little bit of my story. I had a call placed on my heart at a fairly young age that I said no to, and had the opportunity to say yes at a later date. And I just wanted to walk through a little bit about what that calling was, why I said no, and then having the opportunity to say yes, because I think a lot of us have callings in our lives, or a pull, or a purpose, and we say no. And maybe don't even realize we're saying no. And when that happens, all of us miss out. So my story started at a pretty young age. During my younger childhood years, I was in an environment of all different types of abuse. And what I learned from that experience were truths, how I looked out at the world. And what I started to understand between ages 6 and 12 is it must be my fault. There must be something wrong with me. I'm not okay. I'm a mistake. And it's absolutely not safe to be seen or heard, and I had no value. Eventually, I was rescued from that environment and got to move into a home where my parents loved me. So I learned I was lovable. And I started to discover that not only was I lovable, but that I was beautifully and wonderfully made, that I had great value, that I made the world different in a great way just by being me, and that it was actually safe to feel safe, to be seen or heard. And when I looked out in the world, I saw that so many people, even to this day, are still believing those lies, that they have no value, that it's not safe to be seen or heard, that they're a mistake, that it's their fault. And it hurt my heart when I saw that. And this is where the calling came in. Right towards the end of high school, the beginning of college, I saw a motivational speaker for the first time. And they stood up on stage and they shared their truth. They shared their stories. And I saw hearts transformed. I saw lives touched. And it created this ripple effect with all of these women around me. It was at a Women's of Faith conference, and lives were transformed just by someone being who they were, being willing to share their story and their truth. And that's where I felt the pull and the call that I wanted to be a motivational speaker. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to spread the truth and heal hearts and have people stand in how they're made and share that amazing gift with all of us. So I rushed home. I told my mom, I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to touch hearts. I want to transform lives. And she said, Rebecca, that's wonderful, but you do know that in doing that, you actually have to stand up on a stage and speak and share your story. And there's no way I could do that. So I let the calling pass me by. Because at that point in my life, if I stood up and even talked to a group of 3 or more people, my body would keep trying to protect me on a cellular level and would shut down, and my voice would start to close off, and I would almost start hyperventilating, and the blood would rush in my ears, and I was lucky if I could squeeze out a word or two, and then would spend the rest of the time, once I was out of the spotlight, recovering. So to me, it was impossible to do anything like that. So I moved forward. I continued in my healing. I actually got support and help in speaking and teaching, and I learned how to do that. I gained skills, and I became a teacher and educator and speaker, and actually flew across the country helping teach technical information in an easy to understand bite-sized way. But I still wasn't touching hearts. And the calling came back. And this time it wouldn't let up. And it was terrifying because I didn't know if I said yes what that would mean. I had become comfortable. I was speaking. I don't need to share my story. I don't need to share all of me. But that's what the calling demanded and requested and cried that I do, that I was willing to step forward and share all of who I am with all of you, helping you understand that you are beautifully and wonderfully made on purpose and with a purpose. And when I said yes, doors opened up. I had the amazing opportunity to share my story in books, on radio, on television. One of the books has become a bestseller. It's now being released in a multimedia format. And it has been an amazing honor and opportunity to walk beside so many people and help them really step into their purpose and shine. And what I want to share with you about that is I got support along the way. Once I was able to say yes to the call, the how all fell into place. What held me back for so many years was fear. I was afraid of truly being seen. I didn't know how to do that. If I went on radio and television, I didn't know who would be listening, and it was scary. But once I was able to instead focus on the call, really focus on sharing who I am and becoming more and more of who I am and discovering that and being willing to share, it has been an amazing journey. And one of the people that has helped me in that journey is one of our guests today, Stephen Memel. And Stephen, you really held an amazing space for me, not only making yourself available to support and coach me, but holding that amazing space where you helped me not settle for part of me. You know this, but you really held that space and fought with me almost in a sense to step more fully into my voice and my message. And it has been an amazing journey. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank you and to acknowledge you. I'm very grateful to have you in my life and on this show.
Thank you, Rebecca. And it's truly an honor. I appreciate that.
Very welcome. And what I would like us all to do is take a moment to just ground ourselves. For those of you who are driving, keep your eyes open. Those of you who are not, I invite you to close your eyes and just take a deep breath. Put your hands on your heart. Breathe in deeply. And I want to ask you if there's a call that you're feeling pull at your heart. Just a call. Not the how, not what if you say yes it means. Just, is there a call that is pulling on your heart? And if so, what is it that you need from us today or that you need this week to help you answer the call with a yes? We are getting ready to go to break, and I just invite you to step into that space, to breathe in the answer. Don't overscreen it. Just see what word or phrase comes to your heart and mind that you need today or this week to support you. And we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
Have you friended us on Facebook yet? Why not? Just go to Facebook.com/Voice America or search for the keywords Voice America. Once you are part of our Facebook network, you'll receive daily messages about what's happening with our shows, this week's featured guests, and new happenings of the Voice America Talk Radio Network. And you can add your voice to the always active discussions on our wall. Just go to Facebook.com/Voice America or search for Voice America.
Your people are waiting for you.
Do you speak to have more impact and grow your business? Your people are waiting for you, waiting to hear your unique message. Learn to speak more effectively on the Speakers Summit, a free summit designed for speakers like you. More info at thespeakersummit.com. Your people are waiting for you. Are you ready for them?
Your people are waiting for you. Be ready.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network wherever you go. In addition to listening live, you can check out information about your favorite talk show hosts, discover new talk show personalities, add shows to your list of favorites, and listen to all our show archives on demand. All from your iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android. Download it from the Apple App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market, and get ready to tune in. The Voice America mobile app, powered by Aircast.
Build your better business. Achieve that goal. Make good on that resolution. The Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Greider. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed your break and that you got a moment to be still and listen to the question, do I have a call? And if so, what do I need to help me say yes, to help you say yes? And with that, what I would love to ask my guests today, Stephen and Shellie, I don't know if there was a word that was perhaps placed on your heart or a phrase that you would like to share with our guests today that just comes to your heart when we start talking about calls and saying yes. Stephen, did you have anything you'd like to share?
Well, I was thinking about some things as I was first pondering it, but as you were opening it up to a particular word, I kind of felt the word allow come forward for me. I think we attempt to push a lot of things, and I've really discovered that when we allow things, it's very, very, very powerful.
Thank you. I like that. Allow. What was placed on my heart is yes. I want to encourage and empower each of you to be able to say yes. Shellie, I'm glad that you're back with us. We lost you for a moment there. And we were just pausing and wanted to see if you had a word or a phrase that had been placed on your heart when we're talking about helping people say yes to their call.
The word that is emergence is what comes to mind, is allowing your true essence to emerge. And that's what happens when we let go of our fears. Is like it's no longer, fear is no longer taking up energetic space, and our true self gets to blossom and emerge in life. So
Beautiful.
Emerge is the word.
I like that. So emerge, allow, and say yes. Thank you. Well, I wanted to introduce officially our first guest here, which is Stephen Memel. I'm honored to have you as a friend and a mentor. I know that you've been internationally recognized for your voice and performance coaching skills. You've worked with the Hollywood elite, Adam Levine, Maroon 5, Drew Barrymore, and you are the creator of Switching On. And I would love to officially welcome you to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Rebecca. And it's a treasure knowing you. You've been just a blessing in my life. So thank you for having me with you.
And I love to start the questions with why. And really, why is helping people switch on important to you? Why does that work resonate with you and something that you keep doing and providing at a higher and higher level for people?
Sure. I think there's two questions that I want to answer, if I may. One is, what is that? What is the science of switching on? And then, why am I particularly interested in facilitating this? And I do have, as you know, a deep interest in empowering women. And that sounds kind of always a little specious when a man says that, but there's a reason. First of all, the science of switching on, what it really is a framework for accessing that best, highest, most powerful, fully expressed version of who you are, and being able to do that repeatably, reliably. You can count on it whenever you want to. That's really what it is. It's a framework for how to do that. And like most frameworks, it's not something that you didn't invent the result. Most people at some level observed what the best were doing and then reverse engineered and said, oh, okay, here's how you get there. So that's the science of switching on. And if I may, I'd love to talk about real quickly why I'm so passionate about this.
I would love that. Absolutely. Please.
Okay. Well, first of all, I've certainly had my own journey of feeling unseen, unacceptable, all those various tragic things that most human beings experience to a greater or lesser degree. And obviously, as Shellie is going to talk about too, that desire to help people who haven't yet found how to fully embody that, how to occupy that space. And so for me, having been able to do that, having overcome all those obstacles, it's such a gift and a passion to facilitate other people getting there as well. Why I'm interested in women is because as I've worked with very successful and powerful women, I've noticed certain patterns that show up, even in the most successful and most powerful, where can tend to be sometimes a splitting off of what's considered the acceptable side and the unacceptable side. And sometimes it's so subtle that we hardly even are aware that it's there, yet it impacts us so dramatically. And so when we're talking about stepping into our power, my question is always, how do you step into your power, fully into your power, with only half of yourself?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my passion, is helping to make the space where somebody feels all of themselves, all of who they are, is acceptable. Not just acceptable, but valuable. Even those parts that we would think of as unattractive, ugly, just not really. It shouldn't see the light of day. And we integrate those and consolidate those so that you can be fully yourself.
Well, I remember we had multiple conversations about this, bringing all of us together and all of us in, and some of the work that you've done that I've been able to participate in. I've heard you talk about this. And one of the fears that I've heard come up around this is, well, I don't want to have to share all of that. I don't want to share that every time I go, but I don't want to hide part of me. It's like this feeling that it's all or nothing, or they always have to share everything. And what I liked as you guided us all through that dialogue and discussion was that you get to choose, but it's no longer, in a sense, this is Rebecca's translation, so you can add to it, but it was that it no longer controls us in a sense or limits us, that Absolutely. We aren't held back in some way.
That's a very, very good way of putting it. In a lot of situations when I work in conflict resolution, people frequently won't allow them to know the truth of the question, well, if you didn't have to say it to anybody, what would you really feel like doing in this circumstance? Because there's a confusion between knowing it and having to act upon it.
Yes.
But if you know the truth, then you can decide, partial disclosure, what part of that is going to be a help in achieving the outcome that you want from this particular situation. And likewise, it's not about a person when they own that other side of themselves, what some people call the dark side. It's not about having to express that. As a matter of fact, it's almost like having to express it less because it's not creating such a pressure on you because you've embraced it. and you've included it. And then you have your full range of who you are from which to choose as far as your behaviors and your actions and your boundaries and the various choices that we have whenever we come in contact with other human beings.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. And I find as I tap more and more into all of who I am, and I'm not piecemealing myself out, that I find I have more energy, I have more power, and it's like I'm more united in everything that I'm sharing. Is that a common experience when people do that?
Yes, it is. And as a matter of fact, I do a demonstration when I do seminars of what I call energy locks. And I won't go into the demonstration, but when we're in conflict inside between what we feel and what we think we should feel, what we want to do and what we think we should want to do, and or any level of conflict, an enormous amount of our energy is absorbed in that. Whereas when we get aligned with ourselves, then all that energy frees up. And yes, the outcome is incredible energy. And that's where star power comes from. That's where being switched on comes from. It's being able to understand what are the triggers inside you. And those triggers are going to be, in the work that I do, it's everything from physical to mindset to emotional to literally learning how to shift and play with your energy like a dial so that you can break the patterns, become aware of and break the patterns that are holding you in a certain form, and then get back into aliveness and spontaneity. So that is exactly the feeling that I would hope you have. And you were amazing to work with because you were fully invested. And I know we did some pretty intense stuff.
Yes, we did.
But it was fun in the final, and it was great. You were really, really wonderful to work with.
Oh, thank you, Stephen. And I wouldn't say every part of it was fun, maybe for you, but I am so grateful. And I found that it just continued a permanent ripple in my life and even with others that I've had the opportunity to share and work with. So I'm very grateful. But not every part of it was fun.
Oh, no. Well, nothing is. Birth isn't entirely fun,
Exactly.
But the result that you get up with, and I don't want anybody to be thinking who's listening that, I put people on a rack and torture them.
Oh, gosh.
But we do have to confront certain things that may be uncomfortable for us to break through to the next level. And that may not be just on a psychological level. It might even be a level of physical expression. It might just be a level of vocal expression. So all these things can create limitations for us that we are unaware of and that we find very uncomfortable moving out of.
Yep.
Our patterns are comfortable. They don't feel like anything because there are patterns.
And familiar. And I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I'm getting a signal. I do need to take us to break. So we'll be back in just a moment, but I invite listeners to be thinking about, is there a pattern that maybe has become comfortable that perhaps is not serving you and where you're wanting to go? We'll talk to you in just a moment.
We're on Facebook along with some of the greatest minds of the world, and that includes you. Visit us on Facebook at Voice America Empowerment.
We all want peace. We all desire a more meaningful life. We work hard to achieve these things, but at what avail? The key is authentic living with Andrea Matthews. Andrea will interview some of the great spiritual experts of today and will provide wisdom to help you raise your consciousness to the level of your own I am. Your authenticity can give you miraculous gifts, but you have to know how to get there. Listen for Authentic Living with Andrea Matthews. Heard live every Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time on the Seventh Wave Network. Get ready to experience a more fulfilling lifestyle. Tune in to Direct Connect Empowerment with host Fee Mazanke. The show will feature guests who have changed their lives by using the Direct Connect coaching program or have worked with the same concepts that this program offers. By hearing how others have been transformed, you will be inspired to move forward. Direct Connect Empowerment with Fee Mazanke can be heard live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics. Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog, Press Pass? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective. Plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at vapresspass.com. That's vapresspass.com. VA Press Pass by Voice America. All access, all the time.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Griter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed your break and hopefully are accessing those free gifts. We definitely want to get those into your hands. And Stephen, we were actually chatting a little bit during break, and I would welcome you to share my comment if you think that would serve everyone. Because it's funny, I didn't remember making that comment until you started sharing it with me. So to set the stage, after some of the really powerful work that Stephen and I did and him really holding that space for me, we had a conversation, and this is a highlight moment. Stephen, if you'd like to share that.
Sure. I approach, because of the past work I've done, people come to me frequently for their voices and getting more power in stepping out and being powerful with their voices and finding their voice. But that comes from the inside as well as technical. And when we were done with the work, I remember Rebecca saying to me one day, Stephen, is this what you do? And I went, yeah, this is what I do with other people. And she goes, wow, if I had known that this is what you did, I probably wouldn't have come. But having come, I wouldn't trade it for anything. So I thought that was very charming. And I probably discouraged anybody from working with me. but it's really extraordinary, and there are, it's not torture. But I just thought it was a very fun comment that you made.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing. And I do remember that. And I think there's such a blessing sometimes in not knowing the how
Right.
And I think sometimes if we knew the how, or we knew the journey, or if we could look forward in time and see all the things that we go through, we'd stay up at night worried about it and not taking steps.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciated that you never sit down with me and say, you're going to do this, you're going to go through that. I would have worried. I wouldn't have stepped forward. But you were able to really hold the space and say, I can help you move forward in the space you need to be in. And I just really valued that. And to me, it showed a lot of love and a lot of care, because I would have been intimidated and afraid if I knew some of the process that you go through to step into a transformation. But Stephen made it very safe and really held that space. I was never alone in any of it. So I don't want anyone scared.
And you know what? Yeah. The reason I couldn't have sat down and told you that, because I don't go by rules, and so I probably didn't know that we were going to go through certain of the processes that we did. It's about having a set of tools and knowing what needs to be done and knowing what the transformation looks like, and then using those tools to facilitate it. And that's really what it comes down to. I think any good teacher can completely relate to what I'm saying, because that's what good coaches and teachers and mentors do.
Exactly. Well, again, I'm so grateful, and I do have a couple questions I'm going to bring back at the end, along with sharing about your gift. But I did want to transition and introduce Shellie, our second guest here. So Shellie Nelson is a highly intuitive soul, SOUL, connector, and she really helps you transform your life into a place of self-love and empowerment. And something I so appreciate about you, Shellie, is the way you can really hold a space and energy to help people start to connect more deeply with their soul, and that you make it accessible and safe and powerful. So, Shellie, I welcome you to the show.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me here. And I love what you said about the holding of space. It's so important to me anyway.
No, it is. I agree. I underline that.
Yeah.
But I would love for you to share just a moment about your why this work is important to you, why you're called to help people connect with their soul in this deep way.
Yeah, my biggest why is that I just so value freedom, and that I see how people are so contained and trapped by their fears and not living who they really are, because I do have that ability to see the wholeness of a person and really hold them in that way. And so it drives me to help free them and come into their full self.
And is there something, I just think so many times a lot of our calling and what we're gifted to do, there's a personal story or reason behind that. Would you like to share any of that with us today?
I'll try to share it briefly. I've had the ability to see energy and ghosts my whole life. And when I was a child, I was terrified a lot of my life. And I had a certain experience of being terrified in the middle of the night and seeing this ghost. And my mom had come into the room, and she beautifully said to me, she didn't see what I was seeing, but she believed me. And it was one of the greatest gifts I was given in that moment, is that I never shut it down. And she also held space for me to be me. That she was like, no, I don't see what you see, but I believe you, and I will find help for you. And she did. She beautifully found people that could help me and help nurture my abilities. And ever since then, it's like not only am I able to see the other outside, the unseen, but I'm able to see who people really are on a soul level. And so I cannot buy in to somebody's stories or buy into their fears that that's really who they are, because I know the difference. And it's like I can't believe the lies, that we tell ourselves, or that people tell themselves. But I understand that they may be caught up in it, but there is the real you, and it's time to come home. It's time to align and come home to who you really are.
And is that how you would define bringing a soul into someone's daily life? Because I've heard you use that phrase, and I've also heard you use the phrase of coming home. Are those a little different, or are they the same, just different ways to kind of share what you help people do?
Yeah, I think they're very much the same. It's a choice, really. It starts with a choice. And it's a choice to decide to be present versus being pulled by your reactions or your responses or past patterns of emotion. And it's a conscious decision to say, I'm going to be present versus pulled by a certain response that you've always known. And so that's one choice, is to decide to be present. And so I believe it can actually start right there. Because when you're no longer giving energy to a pattern, it starts to break apart.
Great. Thank you. I'm just noticing some themes that we've been talking about are patterns. So that's something I would really encourage each of us to be paying attention to, are the patterns we're falling into and the patterns we're choosing, and to draw some awareness to that. We're getting ready to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about these amazing gifts. But let me give you one more reminder of where to find them. So if you're listening to the replay, you can actually go directly to my website, which is www.yourpurposedrivenpractice. Again, that's yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Click on the radio show tab, and on the left-hand upper corner, you're going to see free gifts. So make sure to click on that. Or if you have the screen in front of you and you're listening to the replay, scroll over to the right-hand side and click that link. You're going to see the amazing gifts that we're going to be sharing all about when we come back. Enjoy your break, and we'll talk to you in just a moment.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Want more positivity in your life? Are you ready to get healthy, happy, and energized? Join the Stella Donna Goddess Gals, Cynthia Bryan and Heather Brittany, for a power hour of stimulating, supportive conversation on Star Style. Be the star you are. A lineup of best-selling authors, celebrities, and experts. Join the effervescent mother-daughter dynamic duo in this upbeat, positive, life-changing talk radio playground. Star Style. Be the star you are. Wednesdays, 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Lend us your ears. It's power time.
Do you or somebody you love have a struggle with abuse? You don't need to be a slave to your abuse anymore. Listen for Beyond Abuse, Beyond Therapy, Beyond Anything with Dr. Lisa Cooney. Dr. Lisa overcame struggles in her own life. 2 decades of sexual, emotional, and physical abuse nearly took their toll. In her 20s, she turned her life around and set upon a path to help others. She can help you find the key to take control of your life, too. Listen every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Now there's a new destination for video content, voiceamerica.tv. Just like our radio channels and so much more. Voice America Variety, Health and Wellness, Business, Sports, Green Talk, Power Up Motorsports, and Seventh Wave Network now have their own video channel components. Plus, check out exclusive programming, including movies, music, educational courses, science and history, current events, and short features. High-definition, premier quality programs available 24/7. VoiceAmerica.tv. If you think you've seen online TV like this before, let us surprise you.
Success starts here. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. It's your world.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed your break and that you're clicking on those gifts and that they really support you on your journey. But I wanted to give a moment to each of our guests to highlight their gift, and I asked them if they would also be willing to share a quick tip with each of you, and they both agreed to do so. And one comment I wanted to touch in on is how Stephen was talking about really supporting women and how that is a pull in his heart to empower them. And something I love to tell my community, because I'm all about empowering women and I have a lot of female speakers on my stage, but I also think it's really important for women to hear from men too, from both voices, men and women, to empower them and support them on their journey. So I really value men that have their heart touched in that way and want to step into that space and help empower us as well. So Stephen, I just want to acknowledge that, and I appreciate you stepping into that space and supporting women in that way.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I would love for you to share about your amazing free gift and a quick tip.
Okay. The free gift is for anybody who wants to get out there and bring their message to people in a more powerful way. It's an ebook called How to Inspire Action in Every Audience. And it just gives some really good tips on what you need to do to get the most powerful communication, the most influential communication out of you. So I hope that's valuable to people. And my quick tip is this, is understand that there's a really big difference between what we experience inside and what other people experience of us from the outside. So when I would say go to extremes when you try certain things, go further than you feel is okay. Get out there and be free with that, because what you think may sound, look, be way overboard, other people are merely supported by when they see somebody who's really willing to be themselves, and it's illuminating and carries the torch for them to do the same. Go to extremes.
Thank you. Absolutely. I love that. And then, Shellie, how about you? I know you have an amazing free gift as well, and you're willing to share a powerful tip with us. Would you mind sharing?
Absolutely. My free gift is an ebook called The Art of Soulful Living, 6 Keys to Bringing More Soul into Your Everyday Life. And so there's great tips for you within that ebook and great ways to really connect with yourself on a soul level. And so one quick tip as to how to do that is that wherever our thought goes, wherever we're thinking, that is where our energy is following. And so we can become very scattered in a short period of time, especially in a stressful situation. And so you can deliberately, even right now, take a deep breath and gather all of your energy into the center of you. When you do that, it automatically realigns to you, and it's a quick way of reclaiming your power versus being scattered. So that's my quick tip.
Thank you. Those are both really, really great tips. Go to extremes and really taking that deep breath. Thank you, Shellie. Thank you, Stephen. I so appreciate it. I encourage each of you to check out those amazing gifts, not just because I love giving gifts, which I do, but I also really want you to be able to move powerfully and wholly forward in your life so that you can answer that call that's been placed there. Because your calling, your purpose is unique. There's not another person out there that's called to step forward exactly as you are called to step forward. And so I really invite you this week, starting today, to take a moment to breathe, to allow, to say yes, not understanding all of the how, but really seeing what it is that you want, that you need, that you can say yes to. And it looks like we have a caller here that I would love to have share her comment or question.
Hi, this is Iris.
Hi, Iris. So glad to have you on the show.
Hi, this is a fantastic show, and I'm very interested in hearing some specific ways I know I'm more experiencing my star power.
Great. So one of the things is that you feel a sense of playfulness. We confuse professionalism with seriousness, whereas when we are feeling playful and allow ourselves to do that, it takes off the chains so that when you get more, I guess, focused and serious and about a substantial thing, that even has more power. So look for your willingness to be playful.
I can do that. That sounds like fun.
It is.
What's your nickname, Iris? Do you mind sharing?
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Iris, before you go, what is the nickname that you use sometimes, if you don't mind sharing?
I call myself Empress Iris.
I love it. Good.
Love it. Love it. Way to go.
Iris, thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Stephen, I didn't mean to cut you off. It sounded like you had a quick comment.
Oh, no. That was it. I just said love it.
Okay,
that
good.
Was great. Yeah.
Good. Well, it looks like we're coming to the close of our show. My goodness, the time has gone really, really fast. So let me give you just a quick idea, listeners, of what to be expecting. So let me recap that this week, I really want you to be spending time thinking about what it is that you need to move forward, to say yes, and looking for opportunities to say yes to the pull on your heart, to the things that are calling at you. And when you have clarity on what it is that you need, whether it's support, help, encouragement, you need support in the how do I get from here to there, you'll have, when you know what you're looking for, it's a lot easier to recognize those opportunities and to say yes to them. So I want you actively on the lookout for them. And to support you further, next week, we're going to have Jim Neiswanger and Rachel Cooley joining us. And we're going to really look at how to more fully connect and the overwhelm and hear what we're called to hear, share what we're called to share, and truly be heard. So a powerful show. And what I want to charge you with, not that credit card charge, but really have you move forth in, is to remember people are waiting for you to step more fully into your purpose, with purpose, bringing all of you from the soul, from the inside out forward, to serve in whatever way it is that you are called to serve. That we need you, that you are beautifully and wonderfully made. And may you always, always bloom where you are planted and shine. Talk to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and 2 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.